I'm 30 years old, and for the first time in my life, I can say that I'm finally happy. But it hasn't always been like this. I reached a point where I was working in this tech company remotely, and from the outside, it seemed like the perfect life. The problem was that I felt very unhappy at my work. I wasn't interested in the product. It was a product that I would never have to use and never have used. And the environment was so toxic. The people were always arguing. Not everyone, of course, but it was so much drama. And I reached a point where I would wake up and stay in bed. I didn't even have the energy to get up and go to the desk to work from the desk. I would just open my computer in bed, do my work, 8 hours, close, and go to bed because it was so bad. I felt my energy was just sucked out of me, and in that moment I was like, this is not the life that I have envisioned for myself, and I know that this is not the life that anyone would envision for themselves. Even if from the outside it looks perfect, if on the inside you feel miserable, then you should do something to change it. And that's what ultimately led me to do the decision to just change my whole life, because I didn't see myself doing this example day every day, my whole life. Live my whole life miserable for then retiring, and finally after retirement then I can do whatever that was not my vision for myself. And so I started working on it. I felt so privileged to study and to have the privilege of choosing my university, a very high-ranked university in Italy in business, and then do a bachelor in economics and then 2 masters in marketing, and then live my life up here. But I do feel a little bit of jealousy towards the people that have known since they were little kids who they wanted to be and what they wanted to do with their life. They knew since a very young age their life purpose, and I wasn't so lucky that I knew what I wanted to do up until recently. And so my whole life I was trying to please society, succumbing to the pressures that whether they liked it or not, I would receive it from my family. And that led me to do business, because it leads to a career that is gonna pay a lot, and that was what my parents guided me to follow, because they thought that, yeah, that's a safe path. But in all honesty, I don't think it's safe if you feel miserable your whole life. And after all these years following what was always the best choice, best for society but not for me, I felt so unaligned, and that's what led me to reaching rock bottom, feeling so sad because I wasn't aligned with who I truly am. And I think it's so difficult to align yourself when you yourself don't know who you are. And therefore I invested in myself. I started to be followed by a very good mentor that helped me discover little by little who I truly was. And after months of work, I finally learned what was my life purpose, what is my life purpose now. And that also led me to putting myself in front of the camera and just like exposing myself to share my wisdom in hopes that you don't make my same mistakes. because right now I am so passionate about sharing my wisdom, and not only my wisdom, but all the people that I meet and all their wisdom. I want to share it with you so that you will be able to figure out what is your purpose as well. But most importantly, I want to share how to improve your life little by little, how to live a quality life through the wisdom of other people and mine. And I want to say also that all of this change, finding my life purpose, it didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of work and patience and months to change my life and start on a new journey. So it's not gonna happen overnight, but you will feel so happy that you started, no matter how long it's gonna take. So a few years ago, then I decided that no, it was the time to change, and I moved from what seemed like a perfect life working in tech and remotely to a life where I feel happy. And happy inside, even though maybe it doesn't look perfect on the outside, but it's perfect for me. And so I moved from tech to finally something that I'm truly passionate about. I was indecisive between food and beauty and ended up choosing beauty because I also have a degree in makeup artistry. So finally, I'm happy. I'm doing a work that I am truly passionate about, that I really love, that I feel always interested in. And I am in an environment that supports me. The people I work with, they are fantastic. And this just made my life so much better already. But I want to say that if you don't have the privilege to change, because I don't have people that rely on me. I am so lucky that I can do all of these drastic changes just because I am dependent, like, no one is dependent on me except myself. And so I feel like I have more freedom to change my life than other people. But don't fret, like, there are so many other ways that you can improve your life little by little, and just keeping your life as is, and then just know that the change is gonna come in yourself. So for the moment, I want to say, start looking at your life, at your at a sample of your day in your life, and think about it. Are you really happy doing what you're doing right now? Because if I had looked at one day in my life 2 years ago, I would have said, no, I'm not happy doing this every day my whole life. And looking at it now, I want to ask you, how does a day in your life look like? Are you happy doing it? After a full day of work, do you feel energized or depleted? Do you feel happy or do you feel sad? And that are, to start with, are good indicators of, are you aligned or not with your life? And it is not easy. It's not easy to figure out if you're aligned or not with your life, because there's so much expectations from society that you want to please, of course, but not everyone was born with the lack of like knowing what they wanted to do since they were little. Because yes, I have had friends that, you know, that they wanted to be doctors and men and lawyers and like business people since they were little, or like, and I didn't have that privilege. So try to think of yourself as a kid. Like, what did your younger self wanted to do? And if you don't have that luck to remember what were your dreams when you were little, not everyone has that luck, and that's normal. I didn't have that luck, so I had to go through this like mentoring program and figuring out myself. And I want to say that you're not alone in this. There are so many people, me included, that went through this change. And yes, you may be unhappy now, or you may have felt unhappy for a long time, but it's not the end, of course. There is so much you can do, and I want to show you what you can do to feel more aligned, to find yourself out. And I hope that you will join me in this journey on how to improve my life, because I feel like I did a lot of work, but it's not the end. There's always room to make your life better. And better doesn't mean the same for everyone. So I can't wait for you to figure out what better means to you and what better means to me. So stay tuned and see you in the next video.